Hello, class. This is Professor Williams from College of San Mateo, Sociology 100 online. It's been a while since we've spoken to each other, and there are quite a few items we need to cover. First, let me again congratulate you on your midterms exams. Everyone should have their scores now. If by some chance I have missed yours, please contact me and let me know so that I can make sure to do some research on that. Since we are coming close to the end of the semester, it is time now for you to take a good look at your grades to make sure that you're going to have the score that you anticipate. Go to our homepage at the very top and you'll see how many points you need to get your A, B, C, or whatever score you were aiming for. Now, don't worry about the percentages. I do not grade on percentages. I just grade on points. If you have 800 points, you have an A. Okay? So that's how you handle that one. Next thing, it seems to me that you might be needing a few more point-getting opportunities so that you can maximize the possibility of perhaps reaching that 800 before the final exam. And by the way, if you do reach 800 before the final exam, you do not have to take the exam. Now, you're welcome to, but you don't have to take it. That's the nice part. Here's how I will do those point opportunities. Toward the end of our web access page, you will see some practice tests for the final exam. It says on there that no points are given, that they're just for practice. But actually, I'm going to put just a few points for each chapter on there, just enough to beef up our point-getting opportunities. I want you to have the same opportunities other people have. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is your upcoming chapter. That's chapter 11, that's due on November the 26th. In there, you're going to be dealing with a piece of an article that says, when work disappears. Pay close attention to that because it talks about how we manage to build areas in our cities that you would call a low-income area, a slum, or a ghetto. Now, I know you have some preconceived ideas about how these things are built. You're probably thinking to yourself, those people who live in those areas, they are not clean and they're not neat and they don't have respect for themselves or they don't work hard in school, and that's how that happens. But actually, it takes a great deal of cooperation, that's the word, from a lot of people other than the residents in order for that to occur. And one of the main pieces that come together to build a slum is the availability of work. What you're going to find out is that availability has been moving over the years, and now a great deal of the jobs are in the suburbs that require transportation to get to from the inner city, and people who live in the inner city, particularly those who are low income, don't have the money for that transportation or don't have reliable transportation to get there. And it goes on and builds from there. It also talks about landlords, most of whom are middle-class people like you and I, who do not live up to their responsibilities to keep their buildings that they own clean, neat, livable. Talks about cities who don't sweep their streets in those areas. All these people coming together to build a slum and then shake their heads and go, oh, that's such a terrible part of the town. I wonder why it is so dirty and why there's so much crime. And if you really think about it, it is because we allow it, because we deliberately set up the conditions to have a slum and then shake our heads and tut. Okay, but do get a hold of that and do take those things into consideration while you're working there. Also, be sure to use those practice tests for what they are intended, which is a review, so that when it comes time for the final exam, you'll be ready. I'll have the final exam open for 24 hours on exam day. Anytime during that time, go in and take your exam. And you can, once you start, Don't stop in between, because once you start, you have 2.5 hours to complete the entire exam. You can start any time, but once you start, you have the 2.5 hours to complete the entire exam, and it'll turn itself off whether you're finished or not. So I want to caution you on that. And that'll just about do it. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me, as you have been doing, and we can iron out any difficulties and let you know anything that's coming up that you may be unaware of. Okay? Thank you very much, and I'll see you next time.